everybody, Low Carb Keith here. I'm in my kitchen. I just got home from work. I'm hungry and I needed to fix something for supper. So I decided to see what I had, and I've got a pound of ground beef, and I found a recipe this week. They called it keto or low carb meatloaf muffins. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make some meatloaf muffins or mini meatloafs. So let me show you what I've got to use. I've got a pound of ground beef that's in this bowl here that I'm going to use to mix up. I've got 1 egg that I'm going to use. I've got a cup of crushed pork rinds. You can buy this at the store called pork panko, but this is just pork rinds that I bought and I crushed them up. I've got some minced onion. I've got some garlic powder, a little bit of Italian seasoning, and salt and pepper. And I also have a muffin tin that I've already put a little grease in it and greased it. I preheated the oven for 350 degrees. So I'm going to mix all this up and get it ready, and we'll put it in our muffin pan, and then we'll put it in the oven, see how it turns out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the crushed pork rinds into my meat. Next, I'm going to add my 1 egg. There we go. And then we put a little bit of just everything. We've got some minced onion. You could use real onion for this if you wanted to, chopped up onion. But I'm going to put probably 2 or 3 tablespoons of minced onion in there. Just a little bit of garlic powder, not much. Maybe a half of a teaspoon or so. A little bit of Italian seasoning, same thing, maybe a half of a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Just a little bit, give it a little flavor. And some salt and pepper. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Alright, so now what we're going to do, and I want to use my hands, we're going to mix this up really, really good. This hamburger meat, I had it in the freezer, it was frozen, so I set it out last night in the refrigerator to see if it would thaw, and it is pretty much almost all the way thawed. So we just want to blend that together really good, get it good and mixed up. And then we're going to put about 1/4 of a cup of that mixture in each of our little muffin tin containers or segments. All right. This looks pretty good. Mixed up well. All right. So now I have got couldn't find my 1/4 of a cup scoop, but I do have a 1/3 of a cup. So we're going to take about what I'm going to consider about 1/4 of a cup, and I'm going to make it into kind of a little sort of a meatball patty, maybe a flat meatball, and we're going to put it right in there. So we'll do that with the rest of them until we get them all made, and then we'll top them with something I'll show you in just a few minutes. Alright, it looks like we've got 11, which is interesting because that is exactly what the recipe said. The recipe said you will end up with 11 of these. So I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what we're going to put on the top of these before we put them in the oven. And now, let me show you what we're going to put on top of this. We're going to put about a half of a teaspoon of no sugar added ketchup or sugar-free ketchup right on the top of these. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a squirt on each one of them. And then I'm going to spread it just a little bit. Just a little bit. It doesn't require much. I'm going to do this with all of them. Try to get these all about the same size. A couple of them may be bigger than the others. But there we go. We've got it. It's ready to go in the oven. So I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 15 minutes is what the recipe called for. And so we'll get them in the oven, and then 15 minutes from now we'll check and see how they're doing. All right, folks, my meatloaf muffins have been in the oven for about 15 minutes, according to the directions on the recipe. And so I'll take them out and see how they look. They've been in the oven for 15 minutes at 350 degrees. All right, now here's the real test. Let's see what they taste like. Try one of these meatloaf muffins. Tastes just like meatloaf. Like it's supposed to. It's good. And it was handy. It was easy. You saw what I mixed in there. Not a lot, just a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of ground up pork rinds, put a little bit of that sugar-free ketchup on top. Very, very good. So, it took me maybe 25-30 minutes total, including the cook time, for some low-carb meatloaf muffins. And they're good. A great way to use ground beef that you've got in the refrigerator. All right, I hope you get a chance to make this yourself and enjoy these mini meatloaf muffins. Thanks for watching.